Hello everyone, welcome to the Top Manhua channel. If you find this review interesting, please like and comment, and don't forget to subscribe channel to watch the latest episode first. I wish you enjoyable episode. Before the inflammation, after playing barehanded with Zhuo Yifan was beaten to a pulp. He then summoned his 9-rank spirit soldiers, a whole group to fight, but Zhuo Yifan was still like, I'll still take you on with one hand. A little later, two guys from the 500 chapter Great Battle, one punch, the other block, then the Xian Tian person dodged. The witness was shocked by what they saw, but the person who witnessed it said it was just a normal occurrence in this small town. To add to the drama, Track Fam used the Chilan's power to directly crush one of the V Ma's squad. Then he chased after and beat V Ma like a high-level X would, lacking the 5-stage divine light. The second elder chased his mother. Seemed a one-on-one fight wouldn't work against the inflammation demon. Playing dirty was the only way to target. Sovereign Qin Tan and Shui Ruahua hurried, called out. Qin Tan sensed danger. Despite the scene, Sovereign Qin Tan didn't show any fear. She only gave a faint smile. She didn't even bother pay attention to the inflammation demon. His gaze was fixed on Zhuo, while Yifan were frantically rushing to his aid. A roar echoed. The unparalleled prodigy, the first rank, changed his form. Zhuo Yifan disappeared, then reappeared before So Qin Tan Na, raising his hand to block a strike from the flame demon. His eyes icy, sharp, and filled killing intent. Seems like he saw through everything and laughed loudly. He chuckled, ha ha ha, as expected. You really care about this woman, huh? The intimate moments between you two back in the room. I guess 7 out of 10 of it was true. Zhuo Yifan casually replied, you're overthinking it. I just think it's best two of us don't fight each other. There is a third party interfering, causing trouble, let alone me coming here to save them. You harmed them right in front of me. Then where should I put my face? The flame demon laughed ominously. Oh, is that so? After saying that, he retracted the strike and swept it aside. With a whoosh, a chain of red light flew out. Immediately afterward, a male disciple of the Xian Tianzong transformed into a burning flame demon. He looked at Fan with a provocative tone and said, this time, why don't you save him? Zhuo Fan coldly looked at him without saying a word. The burning flame demon continued to laugh. Ha ha ha. Explanations are just concealments. The more you say, the more it reveals. You think I don't see through you? Really? You're paying a lot of attention to this woman, aren't you? When I was about to rape, you just needed to wait until I was completely unaware of my surroundings, then use your pet to ambush me. I would have been dead. But why did you act so early? Ha ha ha. Don't tell me someone as calculating as you can be as foolish as this sometimes. Zhuo Fan's expression remained calm as he looked Yen Mo, while Suo Kwenhcheng looked at the male lead, cheerful smile, corners of his mouth curving into a sweet, unexpected smile. Yen Mo then attacked Suo Kwenhcheng. Zhuo Fan raised his hand to protect the root. Yen Mo once again attacked Suo Kwenhcheng. Zhuo Fan raised his hand to shield the house, and Yen Mo came even more certain. My guess, he laughed loudly. Ha ha ha. Indeed, this woman is your weakness. If that's the case, then today you're sure to lose, cause you committed the ultimate taboo of the demonic path, which is love. Even though I, like women, would absolutely never allow a woman to become a hindrance. The inflammation continues. Dozens of attacks directed at Sovereign Qin Tan and Zhuo Fan. He swung his arm to protect her first. However, due to the sheer number of attacks, couldn't avoid them all. Despite trying his best, he still suffered many minor wounds. Sovereign Qin Tan saw her husband single-handedly defending like that. Her heart ached. Her instincts told her to stop, but seeing Track Fam's determined gaze, she reluctantly gave up. V Ma sneered coldly, then continued to wildly swing his spear towards So Qin Tan, but the target was actually Track Fam. At this moment, Track Fam had fallen into a disadvantageous position, while Tui Nuok Hoa's heart felt like it had died, thinking, this man, despite he's the great demon lord, yet he wholeheartedly protects Qin Tan, never leaving her side. Even when facing righteous cultivators, the matter of dual cultivation with a female cultivator, how many people could do this? That group of Yangsha people anxiously thought, old woman Zhuo Fan, what are you doing? Stealing the 100 treasures is to deal with that fellow. It's this little girl who saved us. That's what's important. Zhuo Fan also feels like this isn't right. The young man swung his arm forward, powerful, overwhelming force striking towards lame demon. He quickly dodged, taking the opportunity. Zhuo Fan turned and said, hold me tight. He said, hold me tight. Then the young man embraced Suo Qing's waist. Cheng stepped on the gas and sped away, wanting to take her to a safe place, but Yen Mo saw that and furiously shouted, you dog, where are you running? Then he chased after him, wildly firing a barrage of attacks. 7 parts aimed at the city, 3 parts aimed at Zhuo Fan. Zhuo Fan raised his hands in front of his face, blocking everyone from witnessing the scene. That was incredibly shocking, especially seeing Zhuo Fan holding the beautiful woman, yet still protecting her completely, simultaneously fighting the opponent out, suffering any harm whatsoever. Truly unfathomable, inscrutable. But Yen Mo was the opposite. He was furious. He thought Zhuo Fan was entangled and wouldn't be able to perform. Hui has been at full strength since then, able to defeat the male lead, but 10,000 times. He He didn't expect this, yet he couldn't do anything. Surely that's not proof of his weakness. The inflamed demon is furious, thinking, damn it, fighting fairly with someone and getting beaten black and blue is already humiliating enough. Now he's resorting to underhanded tactics. They can't fight back anymore. Now they have to use a big surprise move. So Ma recalls the team attack and steps on the gas to fly up, then says these big moves were originally meant to deal with Wu Tan, but now they have to be used to deal with this brat first. You really are so detestable. Zhuo Fan gently placed beautiful woman down. His gaze drifted to the rear, observing. Yan Mo only saw from where Yan Mo was fiery flames continuously erupting power. Within those flames, Yan Mo's body soared, flying upwards. The entire cave suddenly transformed, alternating between blue and red, the scorching aura filling every corner. Zhuo Fan was terrified. This is a spirit domain, he exclaimed, but the young man initially thought it was that the infernal fiend used yin and yang to condense fire. His spirit was a fire elemental spirit, or his spirit form was a snake tail. He's a spirit beast, that's right, but he never expected it to be a spirit domain, the most difficult thing to deal with in the divine domain. His soul is like the Vin domain's soul. As long as Vin Galao stays within the domain, they are the masters, unless the enemy has far superior strength. Otherwise, very difficult to defeat. The flame demon laughed ferociously, saying, ha ha ha, you little brat, didn't expect it, did you? What? My soul is a top-tier soul of the highest level in the soul domain. You probably know that to fully utilize power of the spirit realm, one must clearly manifest their spirit. Only then can the true power of the spirit realm be unleashed, as it is the strongest of all realms. This spirit realm controls the life and death of all, and I decide your fate. You want to take her to safety to fight me alone? That's a stupid idea. What a load of crap. Has fallen into a desperate situation without any chance to turn the tables. This is the difference between a master of the illusory void realm and the divine illumination realm. Even if you were to mutate to any extent, you would forever be unable to overcome this gap. Zhuo Fan's face was worried, thinking that although he had the heavenly dragon divine soul, his opponent was, after all, a master of the highest level. I haven't even tried to neutralize the opponent's five-fold illusionary realm yet. I haven't tested the opponent's spiritual realm. I don't know if I can break, let alone. Before I even finish thinking, the young man turns his head. He glances at So Quin Tong. Worry is evident in his eyes. Right now, she can't move. I should have taken her to safety first, but before I could, she was trapped. I was too late. Everything in here now, the whole field. Seeing that, the demon lord was even more delighted, thinking that this boy truly had no other abilities, so could rest assured. Afterward, he proudly said, in this realm, the life and death of everyone is decided by me, including you and that girl. You cannot bring her to a safe place and fight alone. You cannot. Has fallen into the most disadvantageous position and has no chance of coming back, which is the difference between divine projection and illusory projection. No matter how powerful or monstrous you are, you will never be able to overcome this distance. Track Fam then glanced at the roof and replied, while So Quin Ton also looked at the male lead with a determined gaze, unafraid. Immediately after, Track Fam returned to a state of composure, his young hands clenched tightly, standing proudly there, facing Qian Jung. Witnessing this, Hong Mang thought, Track Fam, can you actually do it? Meanwhile, the demon named V Ma grinned with delight, and then he flashed a sinister smile. For the demon began to form the seal and shouted, caw, caw, caw. Your life is ruined by women. If you interfere, I won't be able to complete the seal. But now, I'm afraid it's too late. The ultimate yin-yang martial art, the earthly stage, extreme flame array. A deafening explosion rang out, causing a headache and ringing in the ears around them. Zhuo Fan had two streaks of flames, one blue, one red, intertwined in an instant. Then Zhuo Fan was engulfed by boundless, dual extreme flames. Everyone was shocked, screaming, Butler Zhuo, Miss Qin Cheng. The explosion was like a furnace. Everything inside turned to ash. Everyone's faces were pale with terror. I wonder who could survive the inferno of his divine soul. With such tyrannical might, could possibly survive. Those two are finished. The flame demon laughed loudly. Ha ha ha. Foolish. Do you think I'd engage you head on? This is my domain. I will fight as I please. Can you possibly defend against it? But you little brat. Your move is not bad. This technique, I actually used it to deal with the #1 genius of the Western continent, Wu Tan Thursday. Now, I'll bring it out and use it on you first. You can feel proud as you descend into the 9 heavens. Just as the demon flame finished speaking, a mocking laughter came from inside the Lai Yan. The voice said disdainfully, is that so? What about that dog? The flame. Hearing that, he was startled and terrified, his eyes wide with horror as he looked towards that, only to see Zhuo Fan lightly flick his hand, extinguishing his flames. Completely unfazed, Zhuo Fan smiled charmingly. Qin Cheng, then shouldn't I thank you for valuing this old man so much? As the sea of fire gradually dissipated, standing in the middle between Zhuo Fan and So Qingcheng, calmly standing there, in his right pupil, 4 golden glows radiantly surrounded the male lead. Within 100 breaths there was only emptiness. Space continuously trembled. Everything was shaken and shattered, including those blazing flames. This is the genius of the Void Realm 4th layer. The Void Tranquil Dominion. Qi Wei, the Demon Lord. His eyes widened in shock, unable to believe this was true, exclaiming, how could this be? Trafam smiled and replied, there is nothing impossible. You have the soul domain, but I have the absolute domain. In my domain, you cannot do anything to me. Veem gritted his teeth, both angry and horrified. He really hadn't expected that Chick Fam not only had strong power but also such diverse tactics. Then he shouted loudly, saying something like, absolutely a domain I've never heard of before. Jung Sa, who was beside him, laughed and chimed in. Little frog in a dark corner, what do you know? This time, my knowledge has been broadened. You demon. You're so cheerful, Zhuo Fan. You scared me. As long as Zhuo Fan is still alive, we're safe. Suddenly, Suo Qinqing cried out. Zhuo Fan was stunned. He turned around and saw that she seemed to be in quite a bit of pain. The male lead glanced at her and saw that her ankle was injured. The wounds are from the earlier fire. Cause Zhuo Fan didn't react in time. Qinqing was burned. Zhuo Fan saw her injuries. In Zhuo Fan's eyes, a murderous intent flared. He muttered curses. Damn it, you dog. You dare. Zhuo Fan then held Qinqing even tighter. Seeing this, he was stunned. He thought his hands were being bound like this doesn't make harder to defeat you. Even if you're as strong as a freak of nature, once you're encumbered, I'll crush you as easily as killing an ant. Ha ha ha. So, Quintana's face flushed red. She looked Zhuo Fan with puzzled expression. Zhuo Fan looked up, his eyes filled with boundless madness, yet deep within that madness, there's sky-reaching rage that spills out immediately after. The young man, without hesitation, carries Quintan. This causes the demon to be incredibly astonished. The male lead says, I think you're slightly mistaken. The difference between you and me, the difference between us, is the distance between the mortal realm and the divine realm. Worlds apart. But who is heaven? Who is the abyss? Perhaps you're mistaken. I only want your dog's life. It would only take a blink of an eye that you've lived until now. You should thank the right time, right place, and the right people for helping you track Fan. So Quintan slowly walked towards the front while the void trembled. There are too many people around. It's not convenient to act. I also wanted to give the Ma Yen sect a little lesson. To teach you a lesson and coldly settle the grudge. I wanted to deal with coldly and settle the score. But now you've gone too far. I can't not let you know what propriety is. I can't let you get away without knowing what propriety is. Ma Yen sneered. You mean you haven't shown your full strength yet? Following me? It seems you're just a boastful coward. I don't believe anyone would fight against lame demon without giving their all. Zhuo Fan smiled, shook his head and said, no, it wasn't that I didn't give my all. That life and death are different. Before, I lacked killing intent towards you, but now is there anything different? V Ma asked doubtfully. With an icy expression, Zhuo Fan replied, the only difference is that even if I don't need 2 legs and 2 arms, I can still crush an ant like you to death. He finished speaking, and the 7 seas giant dragon in Zhuo Fan's head roared to the heavens. Zhuo Fan's face was raised, his whole body bursting with powerful energy, like an overflowing sea and sky. The dragon soul's overwhelming might and pressure established itself, immediately filling the mountain cave. Everyone immediately felt shortness of breath and overwhelming fear, especially those at the void refining realm like Yang Sha. They were terrified, their bodies trembling uncontrollably like white rats encountering a lion, only able to lie prostrate beneath. His own domain of demonic flames trembled incessantly, as if about to collapse. He fearfully thought, how could this be? I've never seen a spirit soul suppressed to this degree before, and this is a lower cultivation base suppressing a higher one. Could it be that the seen little demon god show had condensed a spirit soul? His spirit soul is... What is this? Why is it so terrifying? You may be powerful, but this is underestimating me too much, you dog. After thinking this, he quickly sealed the snake's tail. The snake behind him spun continuously. 2 kinds of energy, yin and yang flames, swirling, merging, the demonic flames roaring perfectly, deploying the dual extreme sea flame martial art. Both hands still hold the beautiful person, but can still seal the roar, the great friction, the 3rd ultimate technique. 3. Dragon God Soul, Yulong Ghost Yin. Around Zhuo Fan's body, a huge dragon appeared. It was furious, like a huge wave of sound, transforming into a huge pillar that reached the sky, plunging straight into that sea of fire. Just upon contact, it shattered it. After that, there was nothing. Stop advancing towards the demonic inflammation. I can't believe the power of the male lead spirit is so terrifying. His martial arts are childlike, but he thought this kid's murderous intent was so ferocious. If I had known better than provoke this madman. Zhuo Fan's palm strike directly pierced through the mountain. Then, with a loud boom, a huge explosion went off when V Ma turned around and saw a massive hole behind him. V Ma's eyes were filled with fear as he thought, fortunately, I was able to quickly dodge that attack. If it hit, I would truly have no way to survive. I didn't expect that when he intended to kill, he would actually so ruthless and decisive. This person is truly a monster. Even with my arms and legs bound, I still am no match for him. He's right. The gap between us is truly a world apart. I am the top disciple, the genius disciple of the heavenly flame demon sect, but I have to admit he's far stronger than I am. Even when facing the top genius of the western continent, Wutan Thursday, I still felt I fight a battle. Now, facing Zhuo Fan in his rage, I'm just like an ant fighting an elephant. I basically have no chance. I laugh bitterly inside. Now, the only thing I can think of is to run for my life. I desperately want to escape. Get out of here, or you'll be crushed by the monster. Fam crushed the demon again. Once more, he looked toward So Quinton. He thought, no mistake, the monster's only weakness is her. The monster's only weakness is her. Suddenly, a sharp dagger appeared in Fam's hand. He flung it toward So Quinton, then stepped on the gas. He wanted to. He thought that Zhuo Fan would definitely save the beauty, giving him a chance to escape. However, his escape was hindered. But what he did only further enraged Zhuo Fan. In the male lead's eyes, filled with killing intent, he roared, "Second-tier prodigy, you're finished." Without a spatial ripple, an invisible force was shot out, striking and deflecting the knife he had just planted. Then a slight delay, heading towards the inflammation. The inflammation was still thinking. Plan was a success, a safe escape, but he felt danger approaching. A master's near-instinctive reaction made him feel like that third Dao Dong pierced straight through his arm, causing him excruciating pain and fear. He clutched his wounded arm and screamed incessantly. Before he could recover, Zhuo Fan had already arrived, shaking himself. A long dragon tail appeared behind him, 10 meters long, fiercely smashing down on the flame demon. The flame demon was terrified, shouting, "What the hell is this? Is it his spirit? How could it look so real?" Then, the flame demon swung two snake tails to block it, but the flame demon, it is very clear that it has diminished the power of the heavenly dragon soul with a huge, booming explosion that released the long tail, unstoppable by anything, sweeping both ends of the fire snake with blazing energy. The five-colored energy surged forward fierce towards the yin-yang dual flames, extinguishing them. It is clear that two ends of the fire snake could not stop it and were severely wounded along with their fate. When the soul is injured, the fiend demon must also endure the pain. He tilted his head and spat out a stream of blood, feeling like his head was about to explode. However, Track Fam still didn't let go, swinging his body and throwing him forcefully against it, pinning him there. Then, Long Vi swept through the cliffside. The fiend demon inside was writhing in pain, constantly howling, but was still being. Track Fam pressed his body against the cliff, scraping it until blood spilled, tormenting him to the very limit. Then with a burst of power, half the mountain was blasted away. The flame demon was severely wounded, his breath shallow, continuing to cough up blood, his eyes completely white, unconscious, as the sun had risen and shone down on this place, leaving everyone bewildered. Horrified, she looked at Zhuo Fan, thinking, what the hell? In a fit of rage, Zhuo Fan overturned the entire mountaintop. He was even more terrifying than the flame demon. The flame demon is no match for him. He's truly a man of the lower three sects. What the hell is going on? It's no different from someone from the Twin Dragon Pavilion. The view from above is truly breathtaking. It's horrifying. An entire mountain leveled by a single blow. Not just the Xian Tian sect, the demonic cultivators are also looking at Zhuo Fan as if he were a beast. They think Zhuo Fan is going all out today. Term perverted no longer fits him. He's truly surpassed the limits. It's unbelievable. He's completely beyond description. He's truly defying heaven. Unbelievable. Under everyone's gaze, Zhuo Fan remained cold. He slowly retracted the heavenly dragon divine soul. Then, holding Suo Qingcheng, he landed on the ground. After that, a streak of Qing Yen appeared in his hand. It circled her forehead 3 times. In a short while, Suo Qingcheng was able to move. Suo Qingcheng looked towards Zhuo Fan, showing no surprise like others. It's not anything else, just a heart-shaped glance. With a smile that makes Track Back Fam feel embarrassed, his gaze shifting away, and sighing as he says, the sealing technique of that kid is really complicated. No wonder. It's a method from the upper 3 sects. To unlock it, it will take some time. Quinton calmly nods and says, that's right. Yet others are still sealed. Too vi. Let's quickly go and unseal them. Having said that, So Quinton stood up, but as soon as she moved, she frowned in pain. She forgot that her ankle was injured by that soul-burning flame attack. Zhuo Fan quickly helped her sit down. Under her embarrassed gaze, the male lead, grabbing the ankle, Track Fam condensed the heavenly dragon soul, thus the heavenly dragon chant. The divine technique is also enhanced, healing very quickly. Track Fam calmly said, before thinking about saving us, best to ensure your own safety first, or it could be very dangerous. So Quinton nodded happily. On new, I've told you, I won't let you worry. Zhao Fan said, I'm not worried about it, only because we were once friends. Suo Qingcheng interrupted, you don't need to say more. I understand. understand. You go your way, I'll go mine. We randomly met. We're not on the same path. I understand. Zhao Fan said nothing. Just quiet and treat. I don't know if it's intentional or accidental, but the treatment keeps dragging on. Yang Sha, I can't stand another meal with this dog anymore. He's not just being a little restless. Just make sure she takes her medicine. That's all that matters. We're still confined. Tu Vi can't move. Look, Yu Kwang is about to cry. Yes, Master, you know our situation. If we don't act, we'll never be able to act again. You're still serving food? It's too much. Pham helplessly shrugs, looking embarrassedly at the crowd causing the disturbance. Then, he grits his teeth. Nguyen Loi muttered angrily, but a smile appeared in her eyes, full of happiness. So Quinn Tan spoke up. It's alright now. Track Pham gave a faint smile, then stood up and walked towards the group of people Dung Sat to lift the seal for them. The Dung Sat people were delighted as their muscles and joints were free like children at play. The three elders of the Xian Tian sect looked at Fan with both apprehension and shame. They thought, after all, he saved us. We should thank him, shouldn't we? But the Song Long Assembly will have to fight this monster. It's madness. Or should we take revenge and repay kindness by dealing with this guy first? But it's even crazier. Even a powerful inflamed demon like that was. If we beat him to a pulp, how will we deal with him? Elder Song Yun is afraid and hesitant. That's right. Where is Yen Mo? Zhuo Fan calmly said. He's probably struggling among the ruins about 10. Li Elder Yun pondered for a while, then said, quickly go capture Yen Mo. Now, he must be seriously injured. There's nothing to fear if we let him escape, but we don't know when he'll return. For revenge, that would be too troublesome. A female disciple, having received her orders, quickly bowed her head and led the disciples to search. After 3 hours, everyone returned, horrified, saying something was wrong. The elders in the ruins. Elder Ma Yun was startled. His face turned worried. He exclaimed, What's going on?